right. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings be unto the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe, in the sincere hopes of being delivered in these last days. All right, this is the brother Yakanan from the GMS England branch. And, I was just about to, hit the hay and pack it in for the night. But, the Spirit jumped on me to read Colossians, the 3rd chapter, all right, as you can see here on the screen. And, this is going to be, a brief video, somewhat of an exhortational video to you brothers out there, laboring and listening, to these videos of, Lord willing, edification that we put up. Really just to stay motivated and stay prayed up, in these last days, because we are indeed, in the last days. We're in the final moments of Esau Edom's kingdom, okay? He's about to fall as quick as lightning, as the scriptures describe. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, we have the blessing, to be able to see the downfall of our greatest enemy being Esau Edom, okay? We're seeing it, live in action through the spirit. So now is not, the time to be weak. Now is not the time to be, lacking in faith and questioning this, this gift that we have in believing in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and these prophecies, okay? And it's funny because before I hit the record button, I just out of curiosity, let me just type in Colossae, all right, the city, and this came up right here on the bottom left. It says get there. It says 144 pounds. It says it's 10 hours and 25 minutes from London, okay, which is spiritual, all right. Now, without further delay, this is Colossians chapter 3 and verse 1. And as you can see in the header, it says, put on the new self. And in the NLT, it says, living the new life. All right. And you remember the scriptures tell us, what Yahweh Shai said, that we are born again. And we have to be as newborn babes, coming into this faith. Okay, so we are indeed, born again in Yahweh Shai, all right, being involved in this ministry and, engaging in this spiritual walk. Now, this is, again, Colossians chapter 3 and verse 1. And it reads, if ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of Yahweh. Okay, so we are to be in the spirit of seeking things which are above, all right, seeking and meditating upon heavenly things. More importantly, meditating upon Yahweh Shai and the kingdom that's to come, which is the kingdom of Yahweh Shai. These are the things that we are to be meditating upon, especially in these last days, all right, and nothing else matters, okay? When you really, get to the bluntness and our raw purpose, for being upon the earth, we are here to exalt the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and to prophesy of our Lord's coming and to prophesy of the downfall of our enemy, which is Esau Edom, and really our enemies. Okay, Esau Edom, that's our prime enemy, but the rest of the heathen, they are enemies too. Okay, and we are here to prophesy the downfall of this current kingdom, as pursuant to Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. Okay, so it says, if ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of Yahweh. Okay, and again, we are risen, with Yahushai. Okay, when you come into this truth, when you're enlightened or illuminated with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in the spirit, you're on a whole new level. Okay, you're no longer operating with the feeble tools and mindset, that you had in the world. Okay, you're operating in the spirit and power and in the truth of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. All right, and your mind, is being renewed day by day, as the scriptures tell us. Okay, so yeah, we are, risen, with Yahushai. Now it says in verse 2, set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. Okay, so our affection, all right, is supposed to be set on things above, things pertaining unto the kingdom of heaven, heavenly things, spiritual things. That's what we're supposed to set our affection on, not on things on the earth. Okay, you remember the scriptures tell us that the fashion, of this world fadeth away. What you see around you, the ways of this world, it's going to be destroyed. Okay? It's going to be totally annihilated, totally destroyed. So why set your eyes, why set your affection on something that's going to be destroyed? It doesn't make any sense. Set your affection, set your time, set your spirit, all right, upon the kingdom of heaven, upon Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, and pushing this truth. Okay, that's what we're supposed to set our affection on, especially in these last days. Okay, again, nothing else matters. Okay, any troubles that you have in this life, yeah, it's not, pleasant, to go through these things and, to go through trials and tribulations and, what's the word I'm looking for? Trauma. All of these unpleasant experiences that we experience in the flesh, these things are, disheartening. But what trumps all of that, all right, is the fact that we have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and we have the gift of prophecy, and more importantly, the gift of faith. Okay? Okay, the gift of faith, all right, as pursuant to Ephesians 2 and 8. And not more importantly, they go hand in hand. I misspoke. We have the gift of faith and we have the gift of prophecy, man. And those are necessary ingredients, that we need, all right, in order to be counted worthy of, Lord willing, receiving salvation in these last days, man. Okay, you have to have the vision. As the scriptures tell us, where there is no vision, the people perish. So vision is very important, especially in these last days. Being able to see the outcome of this wicked kingdom, being able to see, Yahushua is coming and his rulership manifest upon the earth. We have to see these things. We have to envision these things, and you have to have faith that they're actually going to come to pass. Okay, or you're going to lose patience. Woe unto those that have lost patience, man. The scriptures also saying, your patience possess ye your souls. Okay? So set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach in Yahweh. Okay? And in the NLT it says, for you died to this life, and your real life is hidden with Yahushua in Yahweh. Okay? So we're dead to this world. Now, of course, we sustain ourselves, to the best of our ability in this world. You work, you might have a family, you have business you got to attend to. But our true office, our true business is in this ministry, is in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Okay, it's being a member, of the body of Yahweh Shai. That's really why we're here. Okay, that's really why we are here upon the earth in these last days, is to preach Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, we're not here to, enjoy the experiences of this life. Okay, which you will, from time to time, your downtime, and you might smile here and there, but it's gonna be very, very rare, very scarce, I would say. Okay, you remember the scriptures tell us that we're in a house of mourning. Okay, and even when we do smile, and even when we do, seemeth to be joyful for a glimmer of a moment, really, we are very sorrowful, as the scriptures tell us. All right, and there in much wisdom is much grief. So ultimately, the more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding you gain, and the more you find out about how wicked this kingdom actually is the more grief you're going to be exposed to. Okay? The scriptures speak about, the wearing away, of the flesh, through much study. So ultimately, we got to get out of here and we got to be changed in a twinkling of an eye, as it's written. So it says, set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth, for ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach and Yahweh Shai. So we're dead to this world, and our life is hid in Yahweh Shai. And as Elder Apostle Gabar always says, he says it from time to time, this ain't living. What we're currently experiencing right now upon the earth, this is not what you call life. This is not what you call living. All right, the so-called, human experience is not meant to be like this. When we enter into the kingdom, that's when we're truly going to be living life. That's when we're going to be truly, in the understanding of what life is really supposed to be. I mean, come on, we're breathing, poisonous air. The water's contaminated, the food is contaminated. You got all kind of GMOs and forever chemicals lurking around in your body. The water that you shower with, the water that you bathe with is contaminated. Okay? The air you breathe is done. Everything about this kingdom is defiled. Okay? As it tells us in Isaiah the 24th chapter. This kingdom is defiled. Everything about it is of a destroying nature. Okay? So we got to get the hell out of this place as soon as possible, man. And that's our hope. All right? That is our hope, man. All right? So, I'm going to cut it off there. I just wanted to really go into the 3 verses. But I may, Lord willing, come back with a longer video. Delving more in depth with, other precepts. But I just wanted to get that out there. Lord willing, it was comforting and edifying to whoever should hear it. And with that, I'll say shalom.